Hi, this is Stella. I'll be going over information about TRIO and student support services. I had the pleasure of speaking with Alfred Bacon and Desiree Padron. Alfred Bacon is the Program Director for Student Support Services at Lone Star College North Harris. He received his bachelor's in psychology, his master's of education in adult education and distance learning, and a master's of science in human resource development. He's worked as the program director at Lone Star for 6 years. He's worked for TRIO at Lone Star for 11 years, and he's worked for TRIO overall for over 20 years. Desiree Padron is the program project coordinator and one of the advisors for student support services at the University of North Texas. She received a bachelor's in Spanish and secondary education, as well as her teaching certificate and a master's of public health. Desiree has been working at UNT, specifically in student support services, for 5 years. Both Desiree and Alfred have an extensive background in TRIO. Both of them were a part of a TRIO program at one point, either in high school or college. So TRIO is a federal outreach and student services programs designed to identify and provide services for individuals who come from a disadvantaged background. It is comprised of 8 different programs where each one is there to assist and serve low-income individuals, first-generation college students, and individuals with disabilities to progress throughout their academic career. So some of these programs will start at middle school. Some of these programs are there to help these participants receive their post-baccalaureate degree. So I'll be going over each program and giving a brief description. So the Educational Opportunity Centers provides counseling and information on college admissions to qualified adults who want to enter or continue a program of post-secondary education. The Ronald E. McNair Post-Baccalaureate Achievement Program is there to prepare eligible participants for doctoral studies through the involvement of research and other scholarly activities, such as presenting at conferences. Talent Search is there to identify and assist individuals from disadvantaged backgrounds who have the potential to succeed in higher education. The training program for federal TRIO program staff is there to enhance the skills and expertise of the TRIO staff. So if they receive the grant, they can use it towards seminars or conferences for training. Upward Bound is a program for high school students to help prepare for college entrance. Upward Bound Math Science is essentially the same, except it's a program to strengthen their math and science skills, and hopefully this leads them to a career in math and science. The Veterans Upward Bound program motivates and assists veterans in the development of academic and other skills necessary for the acceptance and success in post-secondary education. But we'll be focusing on student support services. So the purpose of student support services is to provide academic development, assist students with basic college requirements, and motivate students towards successful completion of their post-secondary education. While some services might differ depending on the institution, all are federally required to provide academic tutoring, advising, and financial aid literacy. Some of these extra services might be mentoring, whether it's peer mentoring or mentoring from faculty or staff, resume workshops, mock interviews. Both Desiree and Alfred mentioned that student support services is there to help develop the student holistically, which is why they've incorporated cultural experiences. And some of these cultural experiences might be attending a play or musical or going to a museum. At Lone Star specifically, their mission is to have their students help them transition to a 4-year institution, which is why they provide college visits. There are certain requirements that a student must have before they can get accepted into student support services. They must meet 2 of the 3 criteria. Either they are a first-generation college student, they come from a low-income family, or they have a disability. If they meet two of the three criteria, then they will be admitted into the program. Once admitted, there are certain requirements that they have to do. So one of these requirements is attend advising meetings. Both Alfred and Desiree mentioned that it depends on where you are in the program, the frequency of the meetings. So when you're first in the program, you're going to attend these advising meetings more, either it's weekly or bi-weekly. As you continue in your education, once you've are almost completing the program, then these advising meetings aren't as frequent. So this organizational chart is based off of the University of North Texas. At the bottom, we have student employees. Some of these student employees might provide tutoring or help around at the office. They report to the coordinator. The program coordinator is charged of programming certain events, such as, trips to the museum or trips to a play. The advisors are there to advise the students on which courses to take and make sure that they're on track to graduating in a timely manner. The director of the program oversees everything and is in charge of budgeting and making sure everything runs smoothly. He reports to the Associate Vice President of Student Affairs. So there's some challenges and benefits that both Desiree and Alfred mentioned. A challenge could be administrative support. Are we getting that support we need from the administration? And it differs between every institution. So it might be more difficult for a two-year institution to receive administrative support because the likelihood of them receiving the grant versus a four-year university is low. Budget cuts is also a challenge. These past few years, the Department of Education has decreased the funding for TRIO programs. We've seen many TRIO programs actually dissolve are not a part of the college campus anymore. Another challenge is student communication, how to communicate with the students in an effective way, and just how to get in contact with them. Not every student checks their email, not every student is on social media. Desiree mentioned one challenge is turning students away. While they might meet the criteria, they have to turn them away because they can only serve so many students. At University of North Texas, it's 250. At Lone Star North Harris, it's 160. Once they meet that quota, they can't take any students in. Some benefits of working in TRIO are being a part of community, and not just TRIO itself, which is a large community, but just the college campus. Both Desiree and Alfred talked about being able to impact somebody. They both said that they've had students who've graduated who have come back to thank them, for helping them during their college career. Professional development, being able to network and attending conferences, presenting at conferences. And Alfred mentioned that TRIO, unlike other programs, has a very family-like environment. The staff members become like your brother or your sister or your mom or your dad. Some skills that are necessary to work in TRIO, first and foremost, the desire to work with people and the desire to work with students and see them succeed. That was one thing that they both mentioned. Being able to communicate and actually actively listening to the students. Having presentation skills. Desiree mentioned how not every student is going to be impacted by you. And so it's your job to figure out how to present the information in a way that will actually reach every single student. being able to utilize resources. As I mentioned before, there are budget cuts. And so it's being able to work more with less. Being flexible, um, being vulnerable with your students, letting them see a side of you so that they can relate to you, so you can relate to each other. And just being dedicated to this job. Mr. Bacon mentions how he is always working, making sure, finding resources and making sure that these resources are getting to his students, making sure they know that there's a scholarship here that you should apply for, or letting them know that there's a summer program that you can apply for, just to make sure that these students are getting the necessary attention they need and making sure that they're succeeding. And so I had a great time talking with both Desiree and Alfred. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and you learned a lot about TRIO. I hope you all have a good day.